Winter does not arrive gently. It tightens its grip until the air itself feels sharp enough to break. Temperatures plunge to nearly -50 degrees Fahrenheit. Rivers freeze solid. Forests fall silent. In this kind of cold, survival is not about strength. It is about preparation. Months earlier, brown bears fed with urgency, driven by a simple equation: eat enough now or perish later. Every salmon, every mouthful of fat, became stored energy beneath thick fur and heavy skin. That reserve is their only shield against the long darkness ahead. Deep inside a narrow den carved into frozen earth, Luna curls her massive body around her two cubs. Snow seals the entrance. For 6 months, she will not hunt, not drink, not step into the light. She will live entirely on the fat she earned in autumn. But hibernation is not rest. Luna nurses her cubs through the winter, turning her own body into milk. When spring finally loosens the ice, she will emerge thinner, weaker, and already behind. When Luna finally steps out of the den, spring feels colder than it should. The snow has melted, but the land offers little comfort. She has lost nearly a third of her body weight. Her cubs wobble behind her, small and fragile after months in darkness. Now the real test begins. The salmon should be returning soon, surging upriver in silver waves. But the timing is wrong. Warmer waters and shifting currents have disrupted their migration. Fewer fish reach these shores. The coastline, once rich with protein, feels empty. Luna searches for clams and scavenges whatever she can overturn with her paws. The calories are minimal, barely enough to sustain herself, let alone produce the rich milk her cubs depend on. One cub begins to lag. Its ribs show. Its steps grow slower each day. In the wild, hunger is not dramatic. It is quiet and relentless. Luna senses the danger without panic. If she cannot find a dense source of fat soon, she may lose a cub. And once again, survival will demand a brutal calculation. Hunger is not Luna's only threat. As food grows scarce, another presence moves along the shoreline. A large male bear enters the territory, drawn not just by the promise of salmon, but by instinct. Breeding season is approaching. For him, opportunity is measured in dominance. He is heavier, stronger, and well aware of his advantage. In the wild, males sometimes kill cubs that are not their own. It forces the mother back into estrus, giving the male a chance to pass on his genes. It is not cruelty. It is biology stripped of emotion. Luna positions herself between the stranger and her cubs. She is thin from winter and drained from nursing, but she does not retreat. Her ears flatten, her jaws open in a low warning. The cubs climb behind her, silent. The male tests her resolve, stepping closer. A fight could cost her everything, yet yielding could mean losing a cub anyway. In that tense standoff, survival is no longer about calories. It is about courage under absolute risk. The male eventually moves on, but the tension he leaves behind lingers across the coast. The real enemy is larger than any single bear. The salmon run, once predictable as the turning seasons, falters. Some streams remain nearly empty. In others, the fish arrive late and thin, their numbers far below what this ecosystem once sustained. For bears like Luna, timing is everything. Without dense, oily salmon, there is no rapid recovery from winter. Hunger spreads quietly through the landscape. Other bears roam farther, taking greater risks. Wolves begin hunting more aggressively, targeting weakened deer, and even competing along riverbanks where fish should have been plentiful. When a key resource declines, the ripple touches every species. The forest does not collapse in a dramatic instant. It tightens, competition sharpens. Encounters become more frequent, more tense. Each animal must calculate energy against danger. Luna feels that pressure with every step. The margin for error is gone. In a system built on abundance, scarcity changes the rules for everyone. With the rivers failing her, Luna turns toward the mountains. High above the coastline, where snow lingers in shaded slopes, another food source waits. Beneath loose rocks, army cutworm moths cluster by the thousands, hiding from summer heat. Each moth is small, almost weightless, but together, they form a dense pocket of fat. Some bears climb for hours to reach these ridges, flipping stones with careful precision and sweeping moths into their mouths by the tens of thousands each day. The calories add up quickly. For a strong adult, it can mean the difference between decline and recovery. But even here, competition follows. Larger males dominate the best feeding spots, displacing smaller bears with little effort. Luna tries to hold her ground, yet she cannot risk a serious fight. One injury would doom her cubs. She gathers what she can from the edges, working patiently, conserving strength. It is not enough to thrive, but it may be enough to endure. In a tightening world, survival belongs to those who adapt first and concede when they must. Just as the mountains begin to thin of moths, a narrow valley offers a final chance. Fed by underground heat, one stream never fully freezes. Even in unstable seasons, its current stays open, oxygen-rich, and moving. It is here that the last salmon gather, delayed but determined to spawn. Word travels quickly in the wild. Bears converge along the steaming banks, their patience replaced by urgency. The fish are fewer than in years past, but they are thick with fat, the richest fuel Luna has seen since autumn. She hesitates, only a moment, before stepping into the current. Larger bears crowd the best positions, jaws snapping, shoulders colliding. Luna cannot afford caution. Her cub lingers behind her, ribs still visible beneath damp fur. Timing becomes everything. She watches the rhythm of the water, then strikes. One salmon thrashes in her grip, then another. Each catch is more than food. It is milk restored, strength rebuilt, a narrow bridge back from the edge. In this fragile pocket of warmth, the cycle flickers back to life, and Luna seizes it. Even with the salmon's return, recovery is not immediate. One cub has fallen dangerously behind. Its movements are slow, its breathing shallow after weeks of hunger. While other bears grow stronger along the stream, Luna stays close, guarding every mouthful she secures. Each fish must count. There is no visible panic in her, only relentless focus. She feeds first, rebuilding the fat reserves that will turn into milk. Then she lets the cub nurse, again and again, through long daylight hours. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, strength begins to return. The cub stands longer. It follows more steadily. Time, however, is unforgiving. Autumn approaches, and with it, the deadline imposed by winter. Luna shifts from survival to urgency. She eats with fierce efficiency now, targeting the fattiest parts of each salmon, leaving the rest behind. Muscle thickens beneath her fur. The cubs mimic her movements, learning fast. The crisis has carved something deeper into them all. They have come close to the edge. Now, with winter looming once more, Luna gathers every ounce of strength she can, determined not to face the cold unprepared again. As the last salmon fade from the river and frost begins to settle along the banks, Luna leads her cubs back toward higher ground. Their bodies are stronger now, rounded by weeks of relentless feeding. The weakest cub no longer stumbles. It keeps pace, smaller than its sibling, but alive. They return to a den site not far from where the year began. Snow will soon seal the entrance again. Luna circles once, then settles, drawing the cubs close as the temperature drops. Another winter closes in. For now, they have done enough. Fat reserves lie beneath thick fur. Milk will carry the cubs through the dark months ahead. Yet the uncertainty remains. Salmon runs are no longer predictable. Seasons shift. The margin between abundance and collapse grows thinner each year. In time, the cubs will leave Luna. They will face rival males, empty rivers, and long migrations alone. Strength will matter. So will memory. The question lingers in the quiet before snowfall. When they step into the wild without her, will what they have learned be enough?